What's up everybody? Welcome to Indie Comics Review. This week I'll be reviewing 3 books from last week. 3 number ones, in fact. It was a pretty good week for indie comics. If that's the kind of content that sounds interesting to you, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Now the first book, let's get started right away. The first book is The Me You Love in the Dark, number 1, which is written by Scotty Young and is illustrated by Jorge Corona. The Me You Love in the Dark is the story of Roll Meadows is the name of the artist, and she's a painter. And she's looking for a house to rent so she can kind of get her muse back, and she can produce enough art for her upcoming show. She's struck by this old spooky looking place that may have some kind of history, and she rents it on the spot. Ro is going through like a creative block at the moment, which is one of the worst things artists can go through, especially right before you're due to do a show which features your art. At some point, Ro reaches out to the spirit in the house to show themselves, thinking that maybe they could help her with her inspiration. With the gallery owner kind of nipping at her heels, Ro's frustration intensifies as she continues to stare at a blank canvas. Or when she finally does make something, she's not happy with it. So after endless days of drinking wine and listening to records, Ro isn't sure if it's the wine or not, but some strange things are starting to happen in the house. This is probably my favorite book of the week. Scotty Young has proven that he can write. He can write wacky stuff like I Hate Fairyland, and he can even do straight serious soup stuff like Strange Academy. I like how this story is like building a mood with the way they illustrate the music. Corona's style is kind of similar to Young's, but it's more stylized and grown up, if that makes any sense. This is kind of a familiar plot, right? Writer / artist is going through a creative block, rents a house, crazy stuff starts to happen, yada, yada, yada. But the thing is, this is probably one of my favorite kind of tropes in storytelling. And I'm absolutely here for it if I've got Scotty Young's imagination and Jorge's art to tell this story. So yeah, this is definitely what I'm going to be sticking around for. The next book is Lucky Devil, and it is written by Cullen Bunn and illustrated by Fran Galan, or maybe Galen, I'm not sure. But it's also on it's on Dark Horse Comics also. And this is the story of Stanley. And Stanley is a guy many of us can identify with. He works at a shitty job where his co-workers treat him like shit. His wife is blatantly cheating on him, and stuff just seems to always happen to him. At one particularly low point, when we are most vulnerable to dark forces, Stanley becomes possessed by a demon. Not just any demon, but a demon master. This entity just wreaks havoc on people in Stanley's vicinity. Is it wrong that I enjoyed what he did to his co-workers? I mean, am I a bad guy? But anyway, Stanley, feeling guilty and remorseful for all that he's done to these people around him while he was the demon, he seeks out help from this sketchy psychic named Edmund. Now, Edmund performs a discount rate exorcism on Stanley that removes the demon from Stanley's body. But the exorcism was not complete. It wasn't thorough enough because the demon's power remained with Stanley. So now the demon is cast out on the street, literally, and powerless. So meanwhile, Stanley is telling the story to a 12-step group that all the stuff that's happened to him. And that's where we join the story. On second thought, this may be my favorite book of the week. I mean, Cullen Bunn does it again. Last week, he seems to pull out a great book out of his hat every week. Last week it was the last book you'll ever read, and there's been Basilisk before that. Some I probably left out, and this week is Lucky Devil. So this is another comic where the words and pictures, they work so well together. Galan's art is perfect for this story. I love the exterior and the interior shots of Edmund's shop. I really hope that like Edmund is a recurring character in this story. I'm super interested to see more of what he's about. Bun's so good at expressing the sheer despair that Stanley's going through, especially in his work environment. People can turn against those whom they deem as weak or inferior, and many of us have experienced this from Stanley's perspective. I was lucky to be able to pick up this book since I didn't pre-order it, and it would have been really a shame if I'd missed out on it. So yeah, I think it may still be in stores. I found some copies on mycomicshop.com, so you can still find this book. I would advise you to check it out if you haven't already. The last book is Snelson, Comedy is Dying. This is on Ahoy Comics, and it's written by Paul Constant and drawn by Fred Harper. This is a book about a comedian. This comedian's name is Melville Snelson. He's a middle-aged stand-up comedian. He kind of reminds me of Jimmy Dore, if not for his Cupid doll hairdo. Snelson was recently canceled by the internet for some stuff he did back in his younger days. So to save his career, Snelson embarks on his comedy road tour along with, as he put it, a vegan Jew, a giant black dude, and a trans woman. And they're going through the South. And it's called the Get Woke or Die Broke tour. So, and the road is filled with all kinds of hazards. There's from cows wandering into the road to just crazy groupies everywhere. And while waiting to do a set one night, Snelson is hit with some potentially life-changing news that causes him to rethink his future actions. Now, I really have to give Ahoy Comics credit for putting out a book like this. It even mentioned in the notes that it's been 50 years since there's been an ongoing series about a stand-up comic. The only question is, did I need one? Well, I'll tell you, the market will determine that. Snelson is pretty well written. It's well drawn, surprisingly well drawn. And unlike Knock 'em Dead, the miniseries that was based on a comedian, this book actually shares some of the performance material, some of the jokes, and I think that's a lot harder to write. Harper's art is, like I said, is better than expected. This is a subject that could have been, they could have just used pretty much any artist with less ability if they wanted to, maybe a cheaper artist. But his work is nice and tight. So, I was not really looking for a comic book about a comedian. I very well may pick up another copy of Snelson, down the road. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't. It depends on, if it makes the cut, if I'm pretty close to my budget or not, But it was not a bad book. There was some laughs in there, and it's well written, and it has good art. So there is that. So that's all the books we've got for this week. We're gonna do something a little different coming up as far as the haul video on Wednesday. I've been doing a couple of live streams lately, so I'm going to experiment with doing the Wednesday haul video as a live stream. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, that's going to post the event, and hope some of you guys will jump on, and you can go with my new comments, and you can let me know what you got picked up that day too. So yeah. So until next time, thanks for stopping by. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn notifications on so you know when I make another video. So until next time, see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.